Okay, so we're going to be working on finding critical points, and this problem asks us to find the critical points of f of x equals 1 over x squared minus 4. So to begin with, critical points are used in order to find local extremas. So we want to write that down, and we do this by finding where f prime of x is equal to 0 or where f prime of x does not exist. So to start, we have to find the derivative of this function. So we're going to have f prime of x is equal to, now what we can do with this is we can bring it to the top to make it easier for ourselves. So when we bring that to the top, we have x squared minus 4 to the negative 1 power, because we brought it to the top. And this is a chain rule, so we're going to have to start with the outside function. So when we bring this negative 1 to the front, we just have negative x squared minus 4. Negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2 times the inside function. So the derivative of the inside function is just going to be 2x because the negative 4 is a constant, so we don't have to worry about that. Now we just have to simplify. So when we simplify this, we're going to be left with negative 2x on the top divided by x squared minus 4. And the negative 2 is just going to be a positive 2 in the bottom. So we have to figure out where that is equal to 0 or does not exist. So let's set this equal to 0. And right off the bat, you could probably tell that x would equal to 0 because if we plug in 0 here, 2 times 0 is going to be 0, and 0 divided by any number at the bottom is just going to give us 0. So that will just give us 0. And next, where would this function not exist? So for that, we have to find where the denominator is equal to 0, because if we plug in any number at the top, that number divided by 0 is going to be undefined. So for that, all we can do is just take x minus 4. We don't have to worry about the 2 and just factor that out. So when we factor that out, we're going to be left with x plus 2 and then x minus 2, which then will equal to 2, and then x equals negative 2. So this is where this function is undefined. However, this is also true for the original function. If you take a look at the original function f of x, x squared minus 4 is also the denominator. That means that this will also factor out to be x plus 2 and x minus 2. So at x equals 2 and x equals negative 2, the original function does not exist either. So because of that, we can't consider these our critical points because they do not exist in the domain of our original function, so they cannot be counted as our critical points. Therefore, our only critical point is going to be x equals 0. Now, what we can do with this, just a little preview, is basically, as I said up here, it will help us find local extremas. So we would just create a sign chart of f prime of x. And for this function, our only critical point was 0. So we would plug in values to the left and to the right of 0 into f prime of x to see what signs they will have. If it changes signs from negative to positive, it's the local minimum. If it changes from a positive to a negative, it's a local maximum. And if it doesn't change signs at all, then it's neither. Hope that helps.